Hi. So, this is today's video blog. I want to focus on creating a Rootoverrockwillow, which is a fun project to do and looks really nice when it's done. I have these two willow trees, which I grew from cuttings. So, first thing I'm going to do with this particular tree is, as you can see, it's got lots of tiny leaves and little branches in here, and then up here we're getting into like a big, long, thick piece that's not growing lots of little branches and stuff. That's because the tree's really vigorous and happy and all of that, but I would like it to slow down, so I am going to cut it right. I'm going to cut it right here. And then I'm just going to drop it in a cup of water. Well, actually, first I'm going to cut off these leaves so they don't rot. But I want to leave the branches there because that's where the roots are going to come out of. And probably in a week, maybe 2 weeks, this thing will have roots and I'll be able to plant it again. And that is how I very quickly produce unlimited willow trees. So I'm not going to prune this one anymore, but I'm going to take it out of its pot and get all the roots bare. This one's starting to grow out of the pot a little bit too, but not as much as some of the others. And it's being stubborn. Out. Get out. Out. There we go. This has been in here a long time. It's been in this pot for 3 years, which is really too long because willow trees grow so fast. But it doesn't seem to be harming it. It seems to be pretty happy. So then I do my usual, and this can take a little while. So at this point, I will just talk to you about things I've been thinking. Namely, I've been looking at YouTube videos lately of like people who are cool. And it really makes me feel very insecure about these stupid plant videos because, I don't know, other people are making videos and they're articulate and funny and they have all this energy and they're very exciting to watch and you know, I don't really believe that about myself or my silly plant videos. But you know, there's a lot of negative things that come about trying to compare yourself to others or even keep up with them, and so I'm just trying to be like, you know what, who fucking cares? I like my plants. I'm not a very exciting person, but you know, there's lots of people in the world who aren't very exciting, so I can be one of them, and we can hang out together and we can be boring together and enjoy delightfully boring lives, which is just how I don't know if this is gonna work. This tree. It's got so many roots. This is going to be a project. I might have to fast forward. So the other thing I've been thinking about is like, you know, I go to school and I do a lot of homework, and like pretty much the homework load for my course is basically, if you're not doing homework, you should be doing homework, and if you're not doing homework, you should feel guilty that you're not doing homework, and if you did all your homework, it's never enough, and you should do it again. That's pretty much been my life for the last 4 years. It doesn't really seem to matter how much I work, I'm never done. And even if I did get done, it wouldn't be good enough, and I would have to do it again to improve it. And, you know, I don't know, I'm at an age, and maybe it's because I'm married, and maybe it's because I'm 32, but, you know, I don't I don't like my life when all I ever do is work. You know, I've never been the kind of person, you know, I'm not lazy, I have a good work ethic, but I kind of feel like I always want to have a division between, you know, right now I'm working and right now I'm playing, and when I'm playing I'm not feeling guilty about the work I should be doing, and somehow the amount of time that I play and the amount of time that I work should balance themselves out, and trying to figure out, well, what's more important, getting an A or having a healthy marriage. And I'm guessing that the question is going to be the same when I'm employed. It's just going to be, what's more important, a promotion or having a healthy marriage, having a happy life, enjoying your life. And so I've kind of been looking to trees for some kind of guidance in that area because I'm crazy like that. And something I've been thinking about is just like trees. If there's anything that trees do and anything that's essential to a tree's like health and happiness and how much it grows, it's like, are you surrounding yourself with the things that give you life? That's basically a tree. Trees surround their roots with things that give them life, and they surround their crowns with things that give them life. And if those conditions aren't met, if they're not surrounded, like a tree, it needs sun on every side. It needs dirt all around its roots. It needs room and space and air, and it needs all the things that give it life, or else it just kind of, it gets stunted growth, or it kind of dies, or it, is just really, wow. This is like a really intense root mat. And so I've tried to lately, this semester been saying, what if I try to surround myself with the things that I love? What if I surround myself with the things that give me life? Is that going to improve my life? Is it going to, make me a worse student or a better student? Is it going to make me a happier person? And so I've really been trying to do a lot of that in my life. And what that means for me is, when I get home from school at 7:30 at night, I spend an hour with my wife and then I go to bed. That's pretty much how it goes. And I used to come home late at night and then do homework until I couldn't see straight anymore, and then go to sleep for a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and then get back up and get back on the bus and go back to school. And this semester I just say no to that. I'm just saying no. I think it's okay to say no sometimes. I think that's allowed. Because your whole life people are going to be saying that you should be doing this or that or the other thing for them, and at some point you just have to say that what you want and need is more important. I think. That's what I think. So at my studio I keep plants at my desk. If I get to school at 6:30 in the morning, I tell myself I'm going to start working at 7. That's when my workday is going to start, and then I click around on Tumblr for a half hour. And I don't let myself feel guilty about it either. But again, maybe it's just because I'm a senior. This is super intense, this root. I should have done this sooner. Or picked a different tree. But I like this one because it's got a nice hardy stem on it. Starting to look like a tree instead of just like a fresh baby twig. This is what the roots look like now. You can see the underside. This is nice because it's got a nice flat surface for me to put it on the rock. The rock that I've chosen is a beautiful New Hampshire chunk of granite. It's angular, it's blue, gray-ish. It's very, very much New Hampshire. So somehow, and I'm doing this a little different than the last time, somehow I gotta get this thing on here, and I think I want this to be the front, and I don't know, maybe I want it to go like this. That's just trying to play with it to find a method compositionally, a way to put this that I like and that the roots will cooperate with me on. They're proving themselves to be very opinionated. Alright, I'm going to put it like that. And now, last time I just planted it with the roots wrapped around the rock. It was a smaller rock, so it was easier to do, but I found the roots didn't grab onto the rock as well as I wanted, so I'm going to use some rubber bands to hold it together. This is not how the professionals would do it, and if they watch this video, I'm sure they'll have plenty of criticisms, but, you know, I don't really care. I kind of been experimenting on my own with these things, even though there's plenty of people out there who will tell you exactly what the right way is to do things, but I don't know, it's a journey for me. It's a process of kind of finding my own way, and I think that that's okay. I mean, one of the nice things is I'm working with a type of plant that's like really forgiving, so you know, what's the worst that can happen? It'll have a bad season, it won't grow very well. Maybe it would die, but even then, you know, I produced it for free from stuff that I cut off of someone's tree somewhere. All of my curly willow come from a nursery nearby where they just gave me a bunch of cuttings. Alright, so this is some soil from a tree that died. So I just got rid of that tree today because it was just dead, and it's got this stuff in it that's supposed to be good for roots, so I decided to use it. And I'm going to plant it so the whole rock is underground. That way the roots will be happy and healthy, and they'll grow around the rock, and then gradually, probably next spring, I'll move it out about halfway so the rock is like half exposed. And then maybe by the end of next summer, I'll be able to take the whole rock out, depending on how the roots are growing. It's always kind of a waiting game to see how things do, but willows grow really, really fast, so I'm not too worried. Okay, now I have dirty hands. So that's how you make a root over rock tree. It's, you know, it's not too hard, except generally you want to use a smaller cutting with like less roots because you can kind of compose them around the rock a little easier. But that's pretty much all there is to it. And if you are thinking about trying this, I would say make sure that you have like a stick or a chopstick or something handy. Make sure you have scissors handy right when you're doing it, and after you pot it, especially if you cut off a lot of the roots, don't put it right out in the sun. Keep it in the shade for a couple days. If you try it with another kind of tree, I don't know how they do. I think maples are good about it, but I don't know how fast they recover or what their roots are like, so you'll have to let me know how it goes. And I think that's all I have to say today. Bye.